A Navy boat has been deployed in the Yamuna to check the river's potential as a waterway channel, but the water levels have reduced to less than 2 meters in the river. This gives us an opportunity to address the problem faced by Yamuna, which is the primary source of water in the capital. The river has borne the brunt of Delhi's waste, with 60% being dumped in the river and industries accounting for 80% of the pollution in it. Great efforts have been taken to revive and rejuvenate rivers in India. Examples being the Sabarmati in Gujarat or the Ganga too, which now has a cruise running on it. The bottom line is that Yamuna is a river running through the capital of India. If you visit Thames in London or the Seine in Paris, these riverbeds are tourist attractions. But can the same be said about the Yamuna? We have guests joining us live in the studio and from the banks of the Yamuna with my colleague Brian as well. Brian, I'd like to come to you first. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, Vineet, I can hear you.
Brian, you're at the Yamuna River, and obviously, there have been problems in cleaning it. There have been problems in dealing with its tourism value. As it stands today, I can still see people behind you, but the Yamuna has not lived up to its past glory. It continues to languish as a river, which also finds its mention in some of our mythologies, but today is in a sorry state.
Yes, definitely. We are at the Yamuna. Behind me also you can see the signature bridge. We are standing here and you could see that it's been 25 years that the work has not been done. Yamuna is itself in a sorry state. You could see there are foams, there are chemicals that is polluting the river Yamuna. So we also have with us a guest, Hitesh Sharma, who is who looks after, he's the project coordinator at Bhumi and who has been working tirelessly to help clean Yamuna, to help less pollute Yamuna, which is happening in the city, in the capital city. And it is a matter of concern because you could see that it is in the capital. You could see Sabarmati being beautiful. You can see if you go abroad, you could see Paris, anything. You could see how beautiful the riverbeds are, how aesthetic the riverbeds, the rivers are. Even the work that has been done in Sabarmati has also shown that there has been suitable number of works. But Yamuna, there is a question. There is a question of beautification. There is a question is what is leading there. There are many questions arising that why are we in a sorry state? Why do we, whenever we see Yamuna, why do we feel sorry? Why do we feel that there is a situation, there is a grave concern that we need to look after? The water levels are reducing. You could see foams, you could see smoke, you could see flies. So we have with us Hitesh. Hitesh, first tell me, what have you been doing to help clean Yamuna?
So we have already done around 15 cleanups since last October. And these cleanups we had done at multiple ghats. One is Kadesia Ghat and the other one is near to Kalindi Kunj. And the aim is to actually, mobilize a lot of volunteers in this regard and, who can come and, see the situation by themselves. So by doing this, we have conducted a lot of mass drives around the banks of Yamuna. And this has been our mission to, mobilize people and aware them about the situation at Yamuna, which is a grave concern to all of us right now. And government is definitely doing their part. I mean, they have been doing it since 25 years, like Brian mentioned, but, still the implementation is slow. It will take another, I would say, 20 to 30 years with the pace we are going in. That is why the people who are actually the stronger pillar of our democracy, I think they have to come forward to, take the baton into their hands. And that is why we are, creating that kind of an ecosystem with an NGO called Bhumi, so that we tell the people to, take the baton in their hands and come and, clean up. Not just that, it affects the whole ecosystem actually. So that is the reason. It is not just the Yamuna is being polluted, the whole ecosystem, the people who are surviving on this Yamuna, almost 70% of Delhi survives on this Yamuna, they are being affected because of this. So I think this is what has been, we have been doing almost 15 drives, which we did from last October till today as I stand here. And I can see that government is definitely doing their part as well. But I think there need to be more harder implementations in terms of, imposing more fines, or, let's say, like, he just compared it with the Paris or other countries. I think we need such kind of strong implementation over here as well, wherein you can actually impose fines on people who throw, garbage into Yamuna. That has to be done here to, guide some, have some examples being set over here. So I think that is what we have been doing as a vision.
Yeah.
Here.
So tell me, what wrong has been happening in the river Yamuna? What is that one thing that we are not being able to do, but the other states, other countries are being able to do? Because, see, this is a matter of grave concern, right? I mean, the water levels are reducing. You could walk and talk as well. The water levels are reducing. So what do you think is going wrong, and how do we correct it? You even said it's 20-25 years more, right? And also it has been working for more 20-25 years, so it's gonna take more than 2 decades, you're saying. So what do you think is the problem? Where are we lacking?
I think the problem basically lies with the domestic wastage or household wastage, which is been untreated for a very long time. And the governments have set up, as we can see around, they have set up STPs also, but those STPs are in a bad shape, or they need an upgradation, and that is where I think government is also have envisioned to do that, but it will take years to come. And not just that, the most of the Yamuna, if you see from Wazirabad barrage up to there, it is clean, but as soon as it enters the 22-kilometer stretch, from Wazirabad barrage to Okhla, the whole area is polluted just because of the effluents which is coming from the industrial waste or the household wastage which is coming. So we need stronger segregation policies. We need people who are living who have encroached the places, who lives in JJ clusters or maybe in the jogis nearby. They have to have that segregation policies being followed strictly, and government needs to impose that thing so that those wastage, or we could say that excreta should not come ultimately to the Yamuna, which is polluting it as of now.
Also, tell me, you could see the signature bridge also there. So it looks very beautiful, right? I mean, the big bridge, you could see the view. You could see how, people are here. There have been shops here. People are chilling here. People are having their own fun. So it looks beautiful, right? It's a good picturesque location. But then you look Yamuna, you look at the river, you see it's not in a very good state. A boat has also been here. The boat is unable to move because the water level is also not high here. So, what do you think? What steps could it be done to prevent this kind of circumstance? Because this is a boat of Indian Navy. It has been there for a couple of days. The water level is not there. So this is also a matter of concern, right? A boat being here for a few days because the water level is not there. They're waiting for the water levels to rise and they would, act upon it. So you tell me what initiatives or what steps can be done, to better this thing.
So I think, like I mentioned before, to have the water levels, it largely depends upon the climatic conditions, or let's say when the monsoon hits, the water level flows above the normal level, but apart from that, the water in this condition, or I would say that we are not able to even stand for more than 10 minutes when we go close to the river bank, just because the pungent smell, the smell has been constant, and it is just because of the high ammonia and metals which is present in this particular water, you see. So that needs a definite action plan from the government, who can actually step down and who can take their machineries inside and clean all those hazardous metals which we have inside the water. And that is how you actually plan this. Government has already spent more than 1,000 crores onto it from last 25 years, but still, the conclusion is that we are still lacking a way behind if we compare it to the other countries. And like you mentioned, Signature Bridge, it is definitely a tourism spot for us. We have built it over the top here, but this place needs an action plan from the government, wherein there has to be regular cleanup drives, especially inside the water body, and taking all the garbage which is inside, and obviously treating the plastic in a manner, banning all the single-use plastic which is people are throwing. Even the tourists are coming, they are throwing inside. So government needs to take those rigorous steps towards it. Yeah.
How do you think, so you mentioned government, and government has said a lot about, rejuvenating the river, making it polluted free, making it people for you to come, they can come here, they can sit, they can talk, they can chill. You even mentioned a pungent smell that we get here. As we are speaking also, we could, smell the pungent smell. So, I mean, tell us how can the government work to better it? I mean, what role does the government plays, because there has been a lot of claims, a lot of initiatives by the government, but nothing we could see. I mean, there has been no acting upon it. I mean, even if it has been so minimum that we could not see it. So according to you, what proper steps do you think the government should take?
So, like I said, the government has to, work towards having good segregation policies from the household itself, and obviously, there has to be, the people who are actually throwing the garbage, discriminately into the river. They have to be, taken into consideration or into confidence that you don't do this or you don't throw such garbage around. And also, 10 to 20% almost about the garbage which comes from the effluent factories, which forms a toxic foam over here. That also needs to be sorted out. Government needs to tell them, the industries that stop throwing all those chemicals inside the water, which is leading to, this kind of toxicity into the water. So I think from there itself, starts our journey. I mean, the government's journey to taking, some steps towards it. Otherwise, people are actually coming, sitting over here, chilling, but, they have that feeling that, we consider this river as a holy river. But what is so holy about it if, we get all that pungent smell, and still people have, their faith in the river. If you go to Kalindi Kunj Ghat, people immerse, the idols, the government, the Ganesha idols or whatever god they believe in. But those idols also have, toxic elements into them. They are painted with all sort of toxic paints, and then government has to work on towards, using biodegradable paints and, organic chemicals, so that it should not affect the faith of the people as well as the, our Yamuna. So I think there are a lot of steps if government needs to plan, but it all depends upon, the action plan with which they are implementing. And making people aware, especially that to not throw and segregate the waste, and those policies has to be implemented from the ground level, from the areas which is around Yamuna where people are living in the jhogis. They have to be told door to door, kind of a campaign thing. It has to be started. That needs to be done to have this Yamuna, in a shape like we used to see it during the COVID times, right? It cleaned itself.
Brian, we'll come back to you. Kavita Ashok, environmentalist, also joins us to talk more about this. Kavita ji, appreciate you joining us. Well, the situation with Yamuna is going from bad to worse, and Delhi and the way we in fact treat the Yamuna is responsible for the pollution in it. In fact, there's only 2% of Yamuna which finds itself in Delhi, yet 76% of the pollution that you find in the entire river is because of what Delhi is doing to it. How do you think this industrial practice of dumping waste, this residual impact from the houses in Delhi towards the Yamuna is impacting this river, and why it has lost not only its sheen but its reputation as being a part of the culture of Delhi? In fact, some people also say that Delhi was named as a result of being right next to the Yamuna, from Delhi's of the river to Delhi.
Rightly said, and thank you for taking me on the show, because Yamuna is really close to all Delhiites. But it's a shame and a pity that we don't care for it as our mother and as the river supposed to be. So look at the pollution today. A boat which was meant to clean the Yamuna river has got stuck and is unable to do so. It's really, I find it very, very tragic. Look at the plastic pollution in the river. Basically, see, Yamuna is not only Delhi's river, it's also coming from UP and leather tanneries, chemical factories. Nobody's answerable. What's happening from the source of the Yamuna? I mean, from where it's coming, it's flowing into Delhi, and we are adding more garbage to it. Every day we are adding garbage to it. There is a lot to be done on waste management. There's a lot to be done on segregation of garbage. There are rules to be implemented very, very strictly for all the industrial waste which is going in. There's also e-waste. Nobody's talking of chemicals, batteries and, electric equipment waste. Pollution, when it comes to river pollution, everybody's responsible. Even I am responsible. Every woman in the house, every kid is responsible. Look how we are, misusing water, how we are polluting it. Let Yamuna just not be, a patch of water flowing through the city. Let's start treating it back as our own mother. How we should respect it, not only for its religious significance, spiritual significance, but also that it is a source of water for every Delhiite.
But Kavitaji, are you happy with the efforts that have been made by all the preceding governments and the current one as well? The promises line up at the time of elections, but no result is being seen. I also mentioned in my opening monologue that cities are usually associated with a historical river. If you talk about countries like Egypt, cities like Cairo, with the Nile next to it, if you talk about the Thames, or if you talk about the Mississippi River, or the Hudson in New York, all of them represent a part of the culture of that city, all represent a history of sorts. Why isn't Delhi able to use the Yamuna as exactly that?
The kind of froth and the kind of pollution that we see besides the river, if you go beside the Yamuna, it's so stinky you can't stand there for even 2 minutes. I think as citizens we are lacking in civic responsibility. Everybody thinks it's only the sole responsibility of the present government, whether we say the Delhi government or the central government, maybe the environment ministry. Yes, I agree. All those ministries are responsible for making policies, but on the ground level, you, me, and everyone watching this show has to participate in implementing it, making it clean, keeping it clean. Basically, see, making it clean is of course like these boards, and it's a very methodical thing, and the government has to do that. We can't jump into Yamuna to clean it, but we can at least restrain ourselves from polluting it further by curbing plastic pollution, by not throwing away all these religious murtis and whatever we dispose of in the Yamuna. So I think it's high time we pull up our boots or pull up our socks and understand that water is our lifeline. Jal hi jeevan hai. If there is no Yamuna in Delhi, I don't know what's going to be the state of Delhiites.
In fact, I'm going to throw back to my colleague Brian, who's right next to the Yamuna River. Brian, if you can hear me, continue your conversation with the gentleman and also try and find out what efforts have we actually put in to make sure that the Yamuna continues to be a river that we can all, not only be proud of, but to talk about it in a way that represents, where India and our cultural heritage comes from.
Yes, there has been a number of initiatives by the government that have been done after the MCD elections, but we are standing here. To be very honest, there has not been a proper implementation. You can still smell the pungent, there is a pungent smell. You could see the river Yamuna, you could see a garbage bag there also. If I could request my camera person to zoom, you could see how sorry the Yamuna is, how dirty Yamuna is. We are very sorry to say this, but if you compare it to other rivers, if you go abroad, you see River Nile, if you see Sabarmati, if you go to Paris, you see how picturesque the river is, how beautiful they look, how aesthetic they look. But what about Yamuna? Why is, Yamuna being at the capital is in a sorry state, is in a state which feels, when we also as young generations or the next generation also when they come, when they see, this is what we are, we have no answers to this. Also, even Hitesh also said that it would take more than 20 years, 25 years. They're planning to do door-to-door campaigns. They're planning to do everything from their end to make this possible. But there is still a question, a big question, that will we see Yamuna at its best? Will we see it as a sorry state still? So we don't know what the situation is. I would ask Hitesh to just walk towards the river, and see, I mean, you could see, right? I mean, you're here, you've been working on this project for around 2 years, I suppose? Yes. 2 years, right? And you have done a number of initiatives to make this river better. Do you think you are at a success? Do you think how much better have it been? Has it been better or has it been worse? Is there any improvement? Is there anything that you've seen that you've been working tirelessly for 2 years? So has it changed? Has things changed?
Things have actually changed, I would say, in the terms of, the river banks. Like if you see around, there are some greenery over here which was in the past was somewhere missing, or I would say the things are improving. But if we talk about the river itself, the river is still being polluted, but like I said, we have been doing the river cleanups near the banks. There were a lot of single-use plastics, or there were a lot of plastics people were throwing. Even if I request your cameraman to, just look at the bridge over there, people stop by their car and, they throw the plastic directly into the, into the river. So this is the situation. This is the ground situation. And we actually, fought with a couple of people over there to, tell them to not throw it. But, that has been the attitude of the people, of the larger audience. And that is why the awareness or the ground reality needs to be checked again. And it has to be told to the people to stop doing this as a practice and maybe imposing more fines so that people take responsibility into their own hands. So that is a must.
You tell me something. You just mentioned a very good point that, if you could see the bridge, I could request my camera person to show the bridge. So you are saying that people, they drive by the bridge and they throw these garbages, into the river. And so and this also is a very big reason to, provide a toxicity to the river, right? I mean, the waste, there also you could see that there has been a garbage bags, and here also in the river you could see there are 2-3 garbage bags, and it's not in a good state. You could see flies also around. So, tell me, as a citizen of India, as a general public, as an individual, what can we do to better it? How could we stop this thing where people just drive by, throw their garbages at the river, making it more polluted, and then question the government, then question the people, oh, why is this river like this? Why is this river like this? What are the government doing? But as individuals also, we are a part of this problem, right? We are part of the bigger problem. I mean, it starts from the ground, it reaches to the top level. So in a way, we are also at fault, where people are throwing garbages here, and then we only question, what is going wrong? So to address this issue at hand, how do you think we as individuals, we could better it? What can be done to stop it? What can be done to stop this throwing of garbages in the river, throwing of any dirt things at the river? How can we stop this?
So, like I mentioned earlier as well, that it all depends upon, individual to individual. We have all sections of people in our society today, right? And it is all about your inner conscious. Do you want to see this place, if we compare it to Paris, right? If you compare it to Nile River, do you want to see this place like that? That is the question we need to ask ourselves, right? If we want our place to look serene, and if we want tourism to flow in our country, and especially a place like Signature Bridge, which is made for such activity that people can come here. So we need to ask these questions to ourselves. Our inner conscious should, give answers to us, right? That we should not be using plastic, we should be segregating the waste at home itself, and we should be properly recycling that waste. Recycling is the first and foremost step, which starts from your home. So that is the thing which we need to take as a steps as an individual at our home, so that these kind of things can
Brian,
be,
we've run out of time. Kavita ji wants to make a quick point. We've run out of time. Kavita ji, please go ahead.
Yeah. So I'm just going to make a quick point with the Delhi government, because Delhi Assembly has approved a grant of rupees 1,028 crores to Delhi Jal Board for Yamuna cleaning. This is very recent, in 2023 itself. So already 6,800 crores have gone into the Yamuna Action Plan, and then another 1,000 have been granted recently. So I hope they are listening and we see some real action happening at the Yamuna.
Absolutely. The real action is what is needed when it comes to the Yamuna. It is the pride, and you can say the cultural backbone of our city.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.